What if the tingling, the numbness, and that cold, heavy feeling in your legs had nothing to do with getting older? What if it was actually a warning sign that your body has been sending you for months, maybe years, and you just didn't know what to listen for? Here's the thing. A study from Northwestern University found that people with even mild circulation problems in their legs were 3 times more likely to lose the ability to walk a quarter mile or climb a single flight of stairs. 3 times more likely. And the scary part? Most of them had no idea anything was wrong until it was too late. But today, I'm going to show you 5 simple exercises that can change everything. These aren't complicated gym routines. You don't need equipment. You don't even need to leave your house for most of them. And the research behind these is solid. We're talking about studies from the Mayo Clinic, the American Heart Association, and peer-reviewed journals in vascular surgery. Now, I want you to pay close attention to exercise number 1, because what I'm about to reveal at the end of this video is so simple, so obvious, that most people completely overlook it. And yet, according to multiple clinical trials, it's the single most powerful thing you can do for the circulation in your legs. It outperforms expensive treatments, it outperforms medications, and when done correctly, it can improve your walking ability by over 50%. But we'll get there. Let's start from the top. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me your age and where you're watching from. I read every single comment, and I love seeing how far this community reaches. Are you in Florida, Texas, maybe watching from Australia or the UK? Let me know. I'll be down there responding. All right, without wasting another second, let's get into this. Coming in at number 5, we have something called ankle pumps. Now, I know what you're thinking. Moving your ankles up and down? That's too easy. That can't possibly do anything meaningful. And I completely understand why you'd think that. But let me explain what's actually happening inside your body when you do this. Your lower legs contain a network of veins that depend on muscle contractions to push blood back up toward your heart. When you sit for long periods, when you're less active, that blood starts to pool. It settles in your feet and ankles, and over time, that pooling creates pressure. That pressure damages the walls of your veins, and that damage leads to swelling, discomfort, skin discoloration, and in serious cases, blood clots. Ankle pumps activate the muscles surrounding those veins. Even though it feels like a tiny movement, it creates a squeezing action that physically pushes blood upward. Think of it like squeezing a tube of toothpaste from the bottom. That's essentially what your calf and ankle muscles are doing every time you flex and point your foot. Here's what I want you to picture. Let me tell you about a woman named Margaret. She's 68, lives in Ohio, and she started noticing that her feet were always cold. Not just in winter. All the time. Her ankles would swell up by the afternoon, and by evening her legs felt like they weighed twice as much as they should. Her doctor told her she had early signs of venous insufficiency. Basically, the valves in her leg veins weren't working as well as they used to. He told her to start doing ankle pumps throughout the day. Margaret was skeptical. But within 3 weeks of doing them consistently, the swelling went down noticeably. Her feet weren't as cold, and that heavy, tired feeling in her legs started to fade. So here's how you do it. Sit in a comfortable chair. Let your feet rest flat on the floor. Now slowly point your toes down toward the ground as far as they'll comfortably go. Hold that for about 2 seconds. Then pull your toes back up toward your chin. Hold that for 2 seconds. That's 1 rep. Do 10 of those. Take a short rest. Then do 10 more. Aim for 3 sets. You can do this while watching TV, reading, or even sitting at the kitchen table. The key is doing it multiple times throughout the day. Morning, afternoon, and evening. If you want to add a little extra benefit, try doing ankle circles after your pumps. Rotate each foot in a slow circle, 5 times in each direction. This engages even more of the small muscles in your lower leg and stimulates blood flow from slightly different angles. It's gentle, it's safe, and it works. Number 4 is something I call elevated leg flexes. This one combines 2 powerful principles into a single exercise, and the science behind it is fascinating. Here's the first principle. When you elevate your legs above the level of your heart, gravity does the work for you. Blood that's been sitting in your lower legs suddenly has an easy path back to your heart. A study published in the Journal of Vascular Surgery measured what happens to blood flow in the skin when patients with chronic venous insufficiency elevated their legs just 30 centimeters above heart level. The result? A 45% increase in blood flow velocity. 45%. Just from changing position. Now here's the second principle. While your legs are elevated and gravity is already helping, you add gentle muscle contractions. This combination creates a kind of double boost. Gravity is pulling the blood in the right direction, and your muscles are squeezing it along even faster. Think about why this matters for your daily life. If you've been on your feet all day, cooking, cleaning, running errands, blood has been fighting against gravity for hours. By the time evening comes, your ankles are puffy, your calves feel tight, and your feet ache. Elevated leg flexes can reverse that in minutes. A separate study from the University of Catanzaro in Italy found that patients who elevated their legs at just 15 degrees during rest experienced significantly less leg heaviness and measurably reduced swelling in their calves and ankles compared to patients who rested with their legs flat. Here's exactly how to do this. Lie down on your bed or couch. Place 2 or 3 pillows under your calves and feet so that your legs are comfortably raised above the level of your chest. You want them elevated, not straining. Once you're settled, start doing slow ankle pumps, the same movement we just talked about. Point your toes, then pull them back. Do this for about 2 minutes. Then pause and rest for a minute. Then do another 2 minutes. While you're resting between sets, try gently squeezing and relaxing your thigh muscles. Don't need to move your leg, just tighten the muscle and release it. This activates even more of the venous system in your upper leg. Try to do this for about 15 minutes total. I recommend doing it at the end of your day, after dinner, when your legs have been working the hardest. But honestly, you can do it anytime. Some people do a quick session after lunch and another before bed. Find what works for your schedule and stick with it. All right, number 3. This one is called seated marching, and it's a game changer for people who spend a lot of their day sitting, which, let's be honest, is most of us. Here's the problem with sitting. When you're in a chair and your knees are bent at 90 degrees, the veins behind your knees are partially compressed. Blood flow slows down. Your calf muscles, which are supposed to act as pumps pushing blood back to your heart, are completely inactive. And the longer you sit, the worse it gets. Researchers call this venous stasis, and it's one of the biggest risk factors for developing blood clots in the legs, a condition known as deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. Now, you might think, well, I'll just stand up more often. And yes, that helps. But what if you have trouble getting up and down? What if you're recovering from surgery, or your knees make it painful to stand repeatedly? That's where seated marching comes in. It mimics the pumping action of walking without putting any stress on your joints and without requiring you to stand up at all. A review published in the journal Phlebology, which focuses specifically on vein disorders, confirmed that exercises which engage the calf muscle pump improve venous return. And the key to engaging that pump? Movement at the ankle and knee. That's exactly what seated marching does. Let me tell you about a gentleman named Robert. He's 72, retired, and he was spending most of his day in his recliner. Not because he was lazy, but because his knees hurt too much to walk for more than a few minutes at a time. He started noticing spider veins on his lower legs. His ankles were always swollen, and his doctor warned him that he was at increased risk for a DVT. Robert's physical therapist taught him seated marching, and he started doing it every day during commercial breaks while watching the news. Within a few weeks, his swelling had gone down, and when he went back for a follow-up, his doctor said his circulation tests had improved. Here's the technique. Sit up straight in a sturdy chair. Don't lean back into a recliner for this one. Your feet should be flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Now, slowly lift your right knee toward your chest, as high as you comfortably can. You don't need to bring it all the way up. Even a few inches off the chair is fine. Lower it back down. Now lift your left knee. Lower it. That's 1 rep. Think of it as marching in place while sitting down. Start with 20 marches, 10 on each side. Rest for 30 seconds. Then do another 20. Work your way up to 3 or 4 sets. As you get more comfortable, try adding a little speed. Not fast, just a steady, rhythmic pace, like the beat of a slow song. This rhythmic movement keeps the calf muscle pump working continuously and creates a steady flow of blood back toward your heart. For an extra challenge, try lifting your foot slightly off the floor as you bring your knee up, then flexing your ankle at the top of the movement before lowering your leg back down. That extra ankle flex recruits even more of the lower leg muscles and gives you an additional circulatory boost. Before I reveal the top 2 exercises, and trust me, number 1 is going to surprise you. If you're finding this helpful, do me a quick favor. Tap that like button. It takes 1 second, and it helps this video reach more people who need to hear this information. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new video. All right, let's keep going. Number 2. And this is where things get really interesting. We're talking about calf raises, sometimes called heel raises. This exercise targets what scientists and vascular surgeons call the second heart. Let me explain that. Your heart pumps blood out through your arteries to every corner of your body, including all the way down to your toes. But getting that blood back from your feet, up through your legs, and all the way to your chest? That's a long way to travel against gravity. Your heart alone doesn't have enough force to pull it all the way back. So your body evolved a backup system. Your calf muscles. When they contract, they squeeze the deep veins in your lower leg and physically push blood upward. The valves in those veins act like one-way doors, preventing the blood from falling back down. This entire mechanism is called the calf muscle pump, and researchers literally refer to it as the peripheral heart because it's that important. A landmark study from the Mayo Clinic, published in the journal Vascular Medicine, followed over 2,700 patients and found that impaired calf muscle pump function was a significant predictor of death from all causes. Let that sink in. The strength of your calf squeeze is connected to how long you live. That's not my opinion. That's data from one of the most respected medical institutions on the planet. Another study, a randomized controlled trial published in the Journal of Vascular Surgery, took patients with chronic venous insufficiency and put half of them on a structured calf exercise program. After 6 months, the group that exercised showed their calf pump function had returned to normal ranges. The muscles were stronger, they were pumping more blood with each contraction, and less blood was pooling in their legs. The control group? They got worse. So here's how to do a proper calf raise for circulation. Stand behind a sturdy chair and hold on to the back for balance. Your feet should be hip-width apart, toes pointing straight forward. Now, slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet. Lift your heels as high as you can. You should feel your calf muscles tighten. Hold that top position for 2 to 3 seconds. Then, and this is the important part, lower your heels back down very slowly. Take about 3 to 4 seconds to come all the way down. That slow, controlled lowering phase, what exercise scientists call the eccentric phase, is where a huge amount of the benefit comes from. It strengthens the muscle fibers in a way that fast movements simply can't. Start with 10 repetitions. Rest for 30 seconds. Do another 10. Try to do 3 sets. As you get stronger, you can work up to 15 or even 20 repetitions per set. Some people hold a small weight, like a water bottle, in one hand for extra resistance, but that's completely optional. One important note. If you have balance concerns, keep that chair in front of you at all times. You can also do this exercise with your back against a wall for added stability. And if standing is too difficult, there's a seated version. Sit in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, then lift your heels off the ground while keeping your toes planted. It's less intense, but it still activates the calf muscle pump. Try to do your calf raises twice a day, morning and evening. Think of it as warming up your second heart when you wake up and giving it one last workout before bed. Consistency is everything here. 3 weeks in, you'll start noticing that your legs feel lighter, your ankles swell less, and that heavy, achy feeling fades. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Exercise number 1. The most powerful thing you can do for the circulation in your legs, and when I tell you what it is, you might shake your head and say, "That's it?" But stay with me, because the research behind this is overwhelming. The number 1 exercise for poor leg circulation is walking. I know that sounds almost too basic, but here's why it deserves the top spot, and it's not even close. The American Heart Association published a comprehensive scientific statement reviewing decades of research on exercise and peripheral artery disease. And what they found was striking. Supervised walking programs consistently outperformed every other type of exercise for improving leg circulation. Across 25 randomized clinical trials, walking improved the distance people could walk before experiencing leg pain by an average of 180 meters. That's almost 600 feet. And the total distance they could walk improved by 128 meters. These aren't small numbers. For someone who struggles to get from the couch to the mailbox, this kind of improvement is life-changing. But here's what really sets walking apart from every other exercise on this list. When you walk, you're not just activating your calf muscles. You're engaging your thighs, your hips, your glutes, your core. Every step creates a wave of muscle contractions that pushes blood through your entire lower body. Your heart rate increases, which means more blood is flowing through your arteries. Your blood vessels respond by releasing nitric oxide, a chemical that relaxes and widens them, allowing even more blood to pass through. And over time, your body actually builds new, tiny blood vessels around blockages. Scientists call this collateral circulation. Your body literally creates detour routes for blood to get where it needs to go. No pill does that, no surgery does that as effectively as consistent walking. A study funded by the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, published in JAMA, compared high-intensity walking to low-intensity walking in patients with peripheral artery disease. The high-intensity group, those who walked briskly enough to feel some discomfort in their legs, improved their 6-minute walk distance by 34 meters compared to both the low-intensity and control groups. The low-intensity group, they actually got slightly worse. So the effort matters. You need to push yourself a little. Walk at a pace that's brisk enough to notice it. If your legs start to ache or cramp, that's actually a good sign. It means your muscles are demanding more blood, and your body is responding by opening up those pathways. Here's the protocol that research supports. Walk for 30 minutes a day, at least 5 days a week. If you can't do 30 minutes straight, break it up. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 in the evening, or even 3 10-minute walks spread throughout the day. Start at whatever pace you can manage and increase it gradually over weeks. When you feel leg discomfort during walking, slow down or stop briefly until it passes, then start walking again. That cycle of walking, resting, and walking again is actually the most effective pattern. It trains your body to adapt. And here's a statistic that will motivate you. A large survey from the National Institutes of Health found that adults who walked 8,000 or more steps a day had a significantly reduced risk of death over the following decade compared to those who walked 4,000 steps or fewer. You don't need to hit 8,000 on day one, but knowing that every step counts, knowing that every walk is building new blood vessels and strengthening your heart and your legs, that's powerful. So let me tie this all together. Poor leg circulation isn't just about swollen ankles or cold feet. It's your body telling you that something needs to change. And the good news, the really encouraging news, is that change doesn't require expensive treatments or radical lifestyle overhauls. It starts with 5 simple exercises. Ankle pumps to get the blood moving when you're sitting still. Elevated leg flexes to use gravity in your favor. Seated marching to keep your calf muscle pump active even when you can't stand. Calf raises to strengthen that second heart in your lower legs. And walking, the most powerful, most researched, most effective exercise for circulation that exists. The common thread in all of this? Consistent, not perfection. You don't have to do everything on this list every single day, but pick 2 or 3. Make them part of your routine. Do them while you watch the morning news. Do them after dinner. Do them in the waiting room at the doctor's office. The point is to keep your legs moving, keep that blood flowing, and give your body the support it needs to carry you through the years ahead. Getting older doesn't mean accepting that your legs don't work the way they used to. It means being smarter about how you take care of them. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 exercises are you going to try first? And be honest, have you noticed any of the warning signs we talked about today? Cold feet, swelling, that heavy feeling at the end of the day? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and I'll do my best to respond personally. If this video helped you, share it with someone you care about. A spouse, a friend, a parent. You might be giving them information that genuinely changes their quality of life. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.